Oh, those birds, those wonderful birds, they fly through the trees, they hoot and they chirp. Oh, those birds, those wonderful birds, they live near my home, they live in the woods.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Milwaukee County Zoo and the Bird Show. I'm sure everybody recognizes this bird, right? Yes, this is Norbert, the American bald eagle, and he is just one of the many beautiful birds we have to show you today. Other animals, like bats and insects, can fly, but what does Norbert have that they don't have? What covers his whole body? Shout it out, what do you think? Feathers! Feathers, that's exactly right. Feathers allow birds like Norbert to fly higher, further, and much more swiftly than any other creature on the planet. Feathers allow these birds to occupy every corner of the globe, from the scorched deserts all the way to the frozen tundra. And today, with the help of our beautiful birds like Norbert, trainers Erica, Cori, and myself, you will all learn more about feathers and the birds that wear them. During our show today, there's going to be many free flight presentations where the birds like Norbert are going to fly directly over your heads. So it's very important that you all remain seated for the whole show. And don't try to touch the birds as they fly by. One more very important thing, if you happen to look up at our beautiful birds, I highly recommend that you keep your mouths closed.
Well, feathers have been on this planet for a very long time. But it wasn't until 1861 that a man working in a German limestone quarry paid his doctor's bill with what would become one of the most revolutionary fossils of all time. It was the first feathered fossil ever discovered. The remains were that of Archaeopteryx, a small animal about the size of our European barn owl marshmallow. Archaeopteryx had wings, but they were used more for gliding rather than flapping. It also had claws on the edges of those wings and a mouth full of teeth. Archaeopteryx was not a bird, it was actually a feathered dinosaur. But as birds evolved, they lost those features, and instead they were replaced with talons on the ends of their toes and a lightweight beak. Marshmallow's feathers give him a unique ability, silent flight. The leading and trailing edges of his flight feathers are fringed like the teeth of a comb. They muffle the air passing through. He also has a sound-capturing facial disc. It's the characteristic heart shape of a barn owl. It's covered in stiff, bristly feathers that funnel sound directly into his ears. This owl has the best hearing of any animal on the earth. He can actually fly to and capture his prey in complete darkness, even hearing mice from up to 90 feet away. He is the ultimate mousetrap. And he's one of about 33 different species of barn owls found worldwide on every continent except Antarctica. So how about a hand for our silent flyer, Marshmallow?
He's a little owl. You guys want to see an even bigger owl? Okay, meet Emerson, the Eurasian eagle owl. He is a member of the largest owl species in the world. Now look at these incredible eyes. These piercing orange eyes. Emerson can actually see by the light of just one candle, even if that candle was placed 4 football fields away under total darkness. Emerson is the newest bird in our bird show. He is only 2 years old, and he has been flying in audiences since his very first season. Well, the feathers on ancient animals, like Archaeopteryx, as well as modern birds like the owls we showed you today, are all made of the same protein that makes up your hair and your fingernails. This is a protein called keratin, but in bird feathers it's a lot more complicated. Well, and speaking of protein, there goes to twisting in nuggets right now, that is Omelet and Casanova. Those are our bantam cochin chickens. That's a breed that's native to South Asia. People often keep them as pets there.
Our next bird is also from Asia, as well as parts of Africa. He's nothing like those cute and fluffy cochins you all just saw. He's got a very unique taste in food. You wouldn't want to share dinner with this bird. I'd like you all to meet Diablo, the tawny eagle. In the wild, Diablo would look for a flock of vultures. Now, why would he look for a flock of vultures? He would look for these vultures so that he could frighten them. He would jump around, make a lot of noise. That's because when vultures are frightened, they throw up everything they have eaten. And if you folks thought it was really gross going down, it's even worse coming back up. Diablo then approaches that hot mess and he eats it. It's his favorite meal. One of the things I really enjoy about birds is the great variety to their appearances, their lifestyles, and even their intelligence. Here at the zoo, you can see some extremely large birds like the rheas and the emus. There are then very small birds like the bee hummingbird. They lay eggs smaller than the size of a pea. A little bit earlier, I mentioned that Emerson's eyes take up 2/3 of the room in his head. Now, if you folks were to do the math, that only leaves 1/3 of the room for something really important, like a brain. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but owls are not the brightest feather on the bird. They are, however, very good at hunting. This little guy, however, is extremely intelligent. He's a member of one of the smartest bird species in the world. I'd like you all to meet my little feathered friend. Can you share your name? Nemo is an African gray parrot from the jungles of the Congo. Well, Nemo, I don't know about you, but this audience looks a little bit tired to me. What do you think? You think they're sleepy? Oh, what a nice big yawn. Well, maybe you should help wake them up. Can you do the rooster? Now that you folks are a little more awake, Nemo and I are going to share a story with you all. What do you think, Nemo? You all set? Okay. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, there lived a bird. Did you know his name? That's right, it was Nemo. Nemo Skytalker. Nemo Skytalker lived on a planet completely covered in water. One day, Nemo Skytalker received a transmission from a princess. This princess, was she pretty? Yeah, she had long brown hair and blue eyes. Did she look a lot like me? Oh, she must have been a very pretty princess. This princess had been kidnapped by the evil Vulture Vader. Nemo Skytalker knew he was her only hope, so he chased after that evil Vulture Vader. He climbed into a spaceship called the Big Wings, and he flew up to Vulture Vader's space station with a nice loud charge. When Nemo Skytalker got there, the doors were locked, so he had to knock. When the Vulture Vader opened up the doors, Nemo Skytalker stunned him with his laser. Pew pew! He rescued the princess. She was so grateful that she gave Nemo Skytalker a big kiss. And they flew off into the sunset. Ready? Whee! Besides telling stories, Nemo here thinks that he's unique in other ways too. Nemo, what makes you so special? I'm complete. buy your own parrots, there are a few things you should know. One is that a bird like Nemo can live to be very old. Nemo can live to be 70 years old. Other parrot species can live to be over 100. They need a lot of attention and can be quite destructive. In general, they don't make the best pets for most families.
Well, what's the difference between a parrot like Nemo and a macaw? Here to help us out with that today is Rio. Rio is a red and green macaw. You can see she's quite a bit larger than Nemo, and she has a really thick upper beak that she can use to crush the tough nuts and seeds in her rainforest home. Rio's native to South America. Look at all those brilliant colors on Rio. You can see she's showing off the blues and greens and of course that vibrant red. But did you know that Rio actually has no true pigmentation on those feathers? Pigmentation is what gives you your hair and skin color. Rio doesn't have a whole lot of that. All these brilliant hues are produced by how the light hits her feathers and then scatters off of it. In fact, if you held one of those gorgeous feathers up to direct light, it would actually appear completely gray. But the way the light plays off those feathers really makes good camouflage in her rainforest home. Those feathers also protect Rio from predators. If she thinks danger is near, like another bird, like a bird of prey, for example, well, she's just going to fly in really close formation with the other members of her flock. And all those flashing feathers will actually confuse a predator. It makes it hard to pick out just one bird to prey upon. Each one of Rio's flight feathers, as well as her tail feathers, has a special shape called an airfoil. This airfoil shape creates lift and helps move her through the air. Now watch how she uses her tail as she flies back to her trainer, Erica. She's going to use that tail to help her balance and also to help her steer through the air just like a runner. Then she can open it up and put on the brakes. Well, parrots really work for applause more than anything, so let's give a hand to Leah.
It's pretty easy to see where Rio got her species name, the red and green macaw. Our next bird also gets its species name from some brightly colored feathers of its own. Chances are, if you've seen a raptor in your neighborhood, it's probably a member of our next bird's species. Coming to us from the fence on the right, we have Wagner, the red-tailed hawk. Red-tailed hawks are biologists call an opportunist. This is because they eat many different types of prey and will live in lots of different habitats. Wagner there will eat snakes, squirrels, rabbits, small birds and mice. You can find these guys hunting on the sides of freeways and recently taken to living in suburban areas and the city. When Wagner makes his flight down, you all are going to get a great view of his tail. It's not the same bright red as Rio's, it's more of a burnt orange color. Wagner didn't get that red tail until he was 2 years old. Before that, it was completely brown. His eyes also changed color as he aged, becoming much darker. If you were to see a red-tailed hawk in the wild with a brown tail and light-colored eyes, you would call a juvenile. Well, Wagner does a fantastic job illustrating the 3 characteristics of a bird of prey. The first is that large, curved upper beak. They use that as a knife and fork. Helps them tear apart their prey into bite-sized pieces. The second is their eyesight. Wagner's eyesight is about 10 to 15 times better than yours and mine. And lastly, birds of prey have very strong feet. Wagner's grip is about 5 times stronger than the average human male. Once he grabs a hold of his food, it's not going anywhere. With all this warm weather, I'm sure that many of you are wondering how it is that birds stay cool. Well, there are several different ways in which birds can dissipate heat. One way is by lifting up all their covert or body feathers and allowing cool air to circulate against their skin. They also pant and mantle. That's do they hold their wings out, again, allowing that cool air to circulate? Well, here we have Baton Rouge, the king vulture. He has a very unique way of staying cool. When you guys take a look at his legs there, you'll see that they are a nice white color. When Baton Rouge is hot, he employs a method called urodrosis. That simply means that in order to cool himself down, he poops on his legs. So that white color that you're seeing, it's not natural and it's not a tan. As you can see, Baton Rouge has no feathers on his head. That's to help him when he puts his head inside a carcass, it won't get quite as dirty. Vultures have relatively weak feet but very strong beaks. And as the name suggests, Baton Rouge, the king vulture, he's on the top of the food chain. When these birds break into a carcass, it allows other vultures with smaller, more specialized feet to be able to come in and eat as well. Vultures, like Baton Rouge, the king vulture, are unique because they were worshipped by the Aztecs. The Aztecs believed that king vultures were messengers to the gods.
100 years ago, feathers played an important role in women's fashion. In fact, the most expensive item lost from the Titanic, it wasn't a car or jewelry, it was actually 40 cases of ostrich feathers. Ostriches, egrets, and storks were hunted for their feathers, driving the price up to $2,000 for just an ounce. Well, this is Otis, the white-bellied stork. When he comes out, you'll see how his feathers actually change color according to the angle in which they're viewed. It's called iridescence. It's produced by tiny films in the feather structure. He's native to Africa, and he would migrate along the tropical regions and arrive just before the rainy season. That's why farmers there consider them to be good luck. He's a pretty big bird, but he's actually the smallest species of stork. You can see a whole flock of white-bellied storks at the zoo's aviary. I definitely recommend checking out that building.
Our next bird uses her dark and light feathers to help her keep cool. In her native Africa, she has a white stripe and a white belly. These white feathers help reflect the light, keeping her cool. She's also an extremely intelligent bird, and has learned a behavior I think you all will enjoy. You might recognize her. She looks very similar to a species of bird that we have here in the U.S. If I could get my volunteers that were chosen at the beginning of the show to stand up and hold those bottles like they were shown, I'd like to bring out Einstein, the African pied crow. Einstein is going to take a look around, and she's going to show us how to recycle. All right, Einstein, do you see anything that needs to be recycled? You folks might be able to take a step forward. It'll help her see you a little bit better. Her eyesight is movement-based. Oh, looks like she saw. Oh, not quite. She did see something for a second. Okay, Einstein, do you see anything that needs to get recycled? What do you think? Yeah. Looks like she does. She sees a plastic bottle. Well, she knows that bottle, it doesn't belong in the landfill, so what's she going to do with it? She's going to place it in the recycling bin. Good job, Einstein. Okay, Einstein, do you see anything else? Seriously, I might take one more step. Do you see anything, Einstein? Looks like she does. She's found another plastic bottle. Well, once again, she's going to take that bottle and put it in the recycling bin. And then for Einstein and our volunteers. Now, if Einstein, who is a bird, can recycle, I know that all of you out there are more than capable of doing the exact same thing.
Well, Einstein's a pied crow. Pied is a fancy word for two-colored. Let's bring back another two-toned bird. How about an American one this time? White head, white tail, brown body. Let's see Norbert, the American bald eagle. Norbert didn't get these famous feathers until he was 5 years old. Before that, he was mostly brown. If you look closely at Norbert's handsome face, You can see he still has some brown around his eyes. But Norbert is 7 years old. He's probably going to retain those brown markings most of his life. I like to say he has a very youthful complexion. Bald eagles like Norbert build the largest nests out of any bird of prey. This is because, like most birds of prey, they like to use the same nest over and over. They just add sticks to it. Well, this way, the largest nest ever discovered was found in Florida. And that nest weighed 3 tons before it finally just snapped to the tree they built in it. That is like an SUV in a tree. Bald eagles, like Norbert and the other birds, are symbols of wildness and freedom. But keep in mind that even they are not free from the choices that you make in your everyday lives. Choosing to recycle, save energy, conserve water, well, all these choices will make a really big difference. And we'll be sure to have these beautiful birds and their feathers with us for years to come. After the show, we invite you to approach the stage and you can get some good pictures of Norbert and ask us any questions you might have. And if you would like to make a contribution to organizations that support the conservation of these wonderful birds, like the Milwaukee County Zoo and the World Bird Sanctuary, you may do so with the help of our final bird, Cherry. Cherry's an African pied crow like Einstein. She'd be more than happy to take your donation directly from your hand. You can bring it all the way up to her, and she will place it into her donation box. Well, have a wonderful day here at Milwaukee County Zoo, and have a safe drive home.